everyone. Welcome to this episode of Connected Series, a venture by Frames Alumni Association of FCRIT Vashi. I'm Meenal Tiwari, and today we have with us Ms. Rushali Thakkar as the guest speaker. Ms. Rushali Thakkar completed her Bachelors in Electrical Engineering from FCRIT in the year 1999 and then pursued her Masters from Walchand College of Engineering, Sangli, with a specialization in control systems with distinction. She started her professional journey as a design engineer at Marine Electricals and Fabricons and worked on power circuit and control circuit drawings for 2 years before stepping into the field of academics and research. Currently, she is working as an assistant professor at MH Saboo Siddik College of Engineering. Furthermore, she was also the Secretary of IEEE Women in Engineering, Bombay section for the year 2022. Speaking about her work in the research field, she has many research publications under her name, namely the performance analysis of electrical equivalent circuit models of lithium-ion battery, among many more. She won the Global Eminent Academician Award for Outstanding Service in Teaching by VIJ Trust in 2021 and also received a minor research grant in the same year from Mumbai University for the research project design and development of power electronic converter for active balancing of lithium-ion battery. Apart from juggling between these roles, she is pursuing her PhD in electronics engineering from Sardar Patel Institute of Technology, Andheri. So, my first question for you is, could you describe your role and responsibilities as the Secretary of IEEE Women in Engineering Bombay section? And could you also tell us about your overall experience working in the IEEE committee?
Yeah, as a secretary, as a secretary, we always have to have some meetings to be scheduled, prepare the minutes of the meeting, prepare the agenda, and then you need to coordinate with the subcommittee members. Then you need to have the control over or coordinate with the activities which are being conducted in the Bombay section, along with the collaboration with SBs and many other technical committees. So that was the coordination part and handling with the committee members. And plus, after completing one event, we have a V2, which is a web-based browser, where we need to upload those activities which we have done. So that was a part of as a secretary. And then recently I was able to handle, I was being given a role of a moderator for the panel discussion. So you get many opportunities being a secretary, and you are able to build a network, not only in India, but globally. You get a recognition. You are now, it is like, if you are connected with IEEE, because it is a largest technical profession. You must be knowing about it, IEEE. So it is Institute of Electronics and Electrical Engineering. So it is the largest technical field, which you can, professional field, where you can connect, where you can interact with the different committees. So I would like to highlight two major events. One is the Returning Mothers Conference, which was held in Odisha. So there I was acting as a chair for partnership and sponsorship committee. So I got that role, and I was able to it was like building a self-confidence, having trust in trust that yes, you will be able to do it. I was able to manage whole thing. Plus there is one more event, the major event is SS12. So this is basically for young professionals. So there they can have their budding ideas and they will be able to explore them, and they can be able to give the sustainable solutions. So there are different tracks. So these two major events where I was able to lead.
Could you tell us some of the important points to keep in mind while writing research papers and also while getting them published? And could you also tell us about what force drives you or researchers in general to keep seeking for new possibilities and discoveries?
Your first point is the content, whatever you're writing, that should be precise, it should be clear, and it should be understandable by everyone. Then when you come to the title name has to be in such a way that what is your contribution to the paper. So that listening to the title, we come to know, okay, the paper is about so and so. Then you come to the references. Those references will help you to write the introduction. So that's why I came to the references first, because in introduction, generally you say it is the most difficult part to write the introduction, because many of them don't know what to write in introduction. So in introduction, the first point is you need to identify what is the focus of the work. So that focus of that research paper work, that has to be in the first paragraph. Second paragraph is related to what all work has been done in the past, which is related to your work. So that will be a second paragraph. That means whatever literature review which you have done, that will be in your second para. And finally, you should be writing your own work, what you have done, what novel you have created in that particular research paper. So those three parts you can segregate, three paras you can have as an introduction. Completing the introduction part, like the sequence, it should be logical. Like it should not happen that okay, you're reading one part and the second part is completely different. No, it should go along in line with the technicalities. So you don't need to add graphs, figures and all, but with the appropriate title. Then you can have sections, subsections, results, and conclusion. Whatever is the contribution, that will come into the conclusion part. So whenever you complete the paper, you need to reiterate, like polish the paper, like because grammatical mistakes, English, grammar, that is all that also matters. And one more thing, where to publish the papers. Like you have standard one is IEEE. Second, like if you want to rate which papers are good or which papers, where should I publish? So if the first one, you should always try to get published in IEEE. Second one is either you have Springer or elsewhere. And the third one you can have categorized as UGC journals. My area of interest is power electronics and renewable energy sources. So work is on battery management system to increase the life of the battery, thereby increasing the life of the electrical vehicle as to increase the driving capacity.
So my next question is, what are some of the emerging technologies and topics of research in the electrical field according to you, which will be of great importance in the future, those topics which students should learn and explore?
I would like to tell one tool which is IEEE Collaborative. So that tool, it is like it will link with your professional field, your area of interest. You will be able to connect with the like-minded peoples with your area of interest. You can try to communicate with them. You may be able to exchange your ideas, exchange your views, and you can work on it. And it really helps you in your research area, even in your professional field. If you are keeping it updated, it's always good. So recent technologies, I can say, one is aerospace. If you can see aerospace, and you can see there you can have electronics, because nowadays if the machinery equipments, that will be difficult. So they are trying to replace those with the electronics. Then you also have VLSI, where nowadays you will hear XLSI. XLSI is extremely large scale industry. So there, what you will be having is like you will be trying to reduce the size of the electronics. So it is in the market, like you need always the electronic size is going on reducing. So it's a hot topic right now in the electronics field. Then you have nanotechnology, then you have embedded system and IoT. If you are attending the conferences and some workshop session, there are keynote speakers. So there you will be able to understand where the research is going on, like latest technologies which are there. So generally they try to keep a point that where these keynote speakers help us to identify what are the latest technologies which are coming in the market.
Ma'am, could you also tell us about your the topic that you're currently doing a PhD on?
My research topic is designing of power electronic converters, which will be helpful to mainly focus on the active balancing of the lithium-ion cells. So generally research is not you need to identify your area. After that you need to go on to a very small topic of it. It's not that a large. You need to identify where the gap is there. So I was able to identify that research gap, okay, something is missing. So that missing part I was able to identify that yes, balancing is required. And there are two types of balancing actually, active balancing and passive balancing. So passive balancing, there are many disadvantages, but in India we are seeing that this BMS, whatever are applicable right now, they are all passive based. So now I am working on active balancing system. There are many reasons why you have to go for active balancing. The basic this thing is the losses are getting reduced drastically. If you are using passive balancing, it's not so. That is the main reason why I shifted to active balance. Many of them are doing research in this field, where you are trying to balance the cells. You must have heard some accidents accidents also happen because of this battery blasting. Because if they're during the charging and discharging, what happens is some of the cells, the voltage is going very low. And then that's what happens is that that much power is not being dissipated. So what happens is there might be some fire occurring and all. So this can be reduced if I'm able to balance. And for that, you need to design a power converter circuit. So again, in that, how are you going to place the power converter circuit? So topology, there are different topologies. How are you going to balance? So that part, that modeling part and the hardware part, that I am right now pursuing.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful message. And with this, we come to the end of this interview.